Hey guys, today this arrived in the mail from Blick and I'm kind of saving the rest of the package and this actually up until my birthday because it's part of my birthday haul that I will do later on next month. But I did want to actually open it and try it out even before my birthday because I just want to see how well they work and if I want to get any more of them. These are the golden SoFlat matte acrylics. There are other videos on YouTube if you guys are curious to see various reviews, comparisons, whatnot. But I wanted to do this for myself anyways, and then I figured, hey, I might as well go ahead and record it. So I'm going to get this open and then we're going to take a look and see whether, you know, if you have a bunch of other acrylics or even acrylic gouache, is this something you actually need or not, you know? Is it any different than other acrylics and or gouache? So it comes with, hold on one second. Ooh, look at that. So I got the package that has the fun colors. There's another one that has the kind of basic colors with white and black, and these are the fun colors. We have yellow, green, and it comes in 2-ounce tubes, which is nice because these golden ones come in 1 ounce, and these also are 1 ounce. So this is 2 ounces, so it's bigger. These liquitex soft body ones also come in 2 ounces. So 2 ounces is a pretty decent size and will last a while. This gorgeous cobalt teal, and I do love how Golden does these swatches on the front, so you can kind of see what it looks like and how transparent it is. So these SoFlat acrylics are supposed to be, I believe, a little bit more opaque, which I actually really like. I do like it when the acrylics are opaque, although I do work in layers, so it doesn't necessarily matter that much. Bismuth yellow, red violet. Oh, it's gorgeous and super. You can't see those black lines at all. Cadmium orange, gorgeous color, and this beautiful naphtha pink. So these colors are so pretty, and like I said, I'm saving this for my birthday, so I'm gonna kind of leave them closed, but I did want to use one of the colors to compare. And I already showed you these other acrylics that I brought to compare it with. I found as many kind of green golds as I could, but I didn't have a green gold in everything. Like this one I brought a yellow, and this sennelier abstract I just brought a titanium buff. So, and then some of them are just kind of green, light green or whatever. So I made up a nifty little sheet over here. This is the Art Creation sketchbook. It doesn't really have paper that's ideal for acrylics, but again, it's not a watercolor paint, so it doesn't necessarily matter quite that much how good the paper is for it. So let me bring you guys in a little bit. And I put this black line there so we can see how opaque these things are. So let's start with the SoFlat. And some people were complaining about the jar situation, but I actually like the jars because you can kind of dip in there. And the other thing I wanted to test out is I saw some reviews, like from Sandy Hester, one of them, and maybe some other ones too, like Linda Marcel, where people were complaining about the smell. So we're gonna check that out. We're gonna do a little smell test. It does have a chemically smell, more so than any of the other ones, to be honest with you. And I will tell you what exactly it smells like. It smells like the paint you get to paint your house and the walls in your house, like indoor house paint. It smells exactly like that, just in a much smaller, geez, and just in a much smaller quantity. So I wouldn't recommend sniffing it too much. Yeah, like this green gold or whatever. This golden fluid acrylic has no smell. Like most of the acrylics don't have any smell. Nope, not a smell to this Liquitex soft body, and it's a 2-ounce jar as well. So I think it must be just these paints. And yeah, so it's, if depending, you know, you guys would know if house paint bothers you, then this might bother you. But it's a pretty small quantity, so I don't know that it would matter that much to me, to be honest. Okay, so I'm kind of looking at the consistency is very kind of soft, very soft and creamy. Not as soft, I think, as these fluid acrylics. So if you that's what you're used to, it's not quite as soft. Oh shoot, I got some green on my table organizer. And it's an acrylic thing, so it won't come off unless I wipe it off now. But yeah, what was I saying? Hold on one second, guys. So basically it's more like the consistency of okay. I think I got all the green. It's one of those wooden white organizers. So yeah. More so the consistency of the Liquitex soft body, I think. Okay, so let's see. Okay, interesting. We might need to go up a couple layers and see how many layers it takes to get that black out completely. Then I want to see how well it does being, it does have a nice consistency to it. And then you add some water. See, with the water you can really cover a nice large area pretty quickly. So that's nice. Okay, let me wipe that off. And let me get the water. And let's try a different paint. What do I have next? I have the golden fluid, and I didn't have this light green. I have this green gold situation, and I know that one's gonna be, that's what I like about the fluid acrylics. You just need a tiny dot and it goes a long way. So let's see how this one does. Oh, got that green all over the place. Okay. That barely covers it, but I guess that's to be expected because on the front it did indicate that it's not super high coverage. But look at how well that spreads out too. You can get that going all the way down the page with just that tiny amount. And you barely need to use water for these. I really do like the golden fluid acrylics for my acrylic paintings. They're really nice. Liquitex Basics. Oh, that's not it. This is the Liquitex Basics. I have that. I had bought that. I think it was like 48 of these little tubes. Super cheap. Like maybe 10 years ago or something. And they're still going strong. I mean, some of them I obviously used up, but some other colors are still... Okay, so that one does not have a whole lot of coverage whatsoever. And let's see how well that, yeah, you can't really, I mean, the Basics is like the student grade, right? So let's try it a little bit more here. Let's see how well we can get it to cover the area. Yeah, with Liquitex Basics, they're much cheaper, but at the same time, you're gonna need a few layers basically to cover things. Liquitex Soft Body is next. Let's just open it and dip in there. I think that would be the easiest way. Okay. So let's see. Also not super covering it, but it does blend out nicely. I do really like these Liquitex soft body. And yeah, I think if you guys can see, let me get this a little bit more on here. Let me show you what I mean. The consistency, I think, is pretty similar. It's maybe a little bit thicker. It's maybe a little bit thicker. Let me blend it out. Okay, and the other thing we're gonna wanna look at is if they're actually flat or if they're, you know, not flat. Okay. Golden high flow. I haven't even used this one, so I don't even know if it's open or not either. Oh, that one's also not open. This golden high flow, I'm gonna open it. We're gonna see what we're working with. Have this little tab. Okay, I'm gonna just dip in there. Dip right in, because it's, okay, the consistency is basically liquid. I mean, I think it's their version of acrylic ink. So you would expect it to be fluid enough to use with like a dip pen. Oh yeah, look. This is basically fluid. Like there's no need for any other water. Not opaque at all, but that's okay. As you can see, it's, yeah, none of these other ones have been very opaque. Liquitex Heavy Body is next. I have them labeled up here. Okay, Liquitex Heavy Body. This is also the professional line. The only student grade line is the Liquitex Basics. So this is not the same color, obviously, but, and this is Heavy Body. So it's got a little bit more coverage, but it's still nice and smooth. They have really, their heavy body ones are pretty nice and smooth, actually. In terms of like my opinion on Liquitex versus Golden, I think they're both great, and it just kind of matters more so like which consistency you want, because they do have different options available with their soft body, high flow, like all this stuff. They're all different. This is the Holbein acrylic gouache, because I think the SoFlat matte paint is Golden's. Basically, it's the same thing as acrylic gouache, where it's going to be completely flat. So that's what makes it kind of gouache-like. Okay, yeah, see, it's the acrylic gouache has a lot more opacity to it. Wow, that just covered the black in one go. Now it is a somewhat darker color, and I did kind of go over it a second time, but that just covered that right up. So I don't know if the, and let me, look at that. From that little amount, you get the entire thing just covered up like super quick. That's really nice, actually. Wow. I don't know. I don't know if the SoFlat is the same thing then, really. Okay, Artist Loft. I have this student grade Artist Loft paint from like opaque. Oh, I never even opened it. Hooker's Green. I never even opened it. That's probably why it's still good and didn't go bad. Let's see if it's still good. Okay, this is Hooker's Green, so it's a different color. Oh wow. But like I said, that's a different color, but let's see. What can I say? The Artist Loft paint is not too bad. If you're just new to acrylics or just starting out, I would not hesitate to get either the Artist Loft or the Liquitex Basics. I would really recommend actually the Liquitex Basics, but the only difference really is you're just going to need more layers because they have less pigment. But they're still just as good. They're still just as permanent. Artist Loft Professional. I recently got this as part of my birthday haul. It was on clearance for $5 instead of 13. So I went ahead and got that. This is Artist Loft Professional line, and the paint is green gold. So let's see how that compares. So let's see. Okay. It's very transparent as well. But then again, so were all these, and they're just as good quality. So I wouldn't necessarily, let me get rid of some of the paint. Let's see how it spreads out. Because one of the things I want to know is how all these spread out. It's pretty nice. I really love green gold. So that's why I have so many versions of it. And I have it for a lot of my watercolor sets too, because I just love it. Okay, Sennelier Abstract. I only have this one tube of Sennelier Abstract, so that's why we're having a different color, because this is the only color I have. It's a huge bag of 4 ounces, so it's pretty big. Like, this is 2 ounces. This is 4. This is 2.5 ounces, this tube. This is 4 ounces, so it's really big. So I made sure I got a color that I knew I would like use a lot of. And this buff titanium, sometimes I use it instead of white, depending on what effect I want to get. So I'm already like a good portion of the way through on it. See, that's got some good opacity. I really, actually, I gotta say, guys, I really like this. Got a tiny bit of green in there by accident, but that's okay. I really like this paint from Sennelier. It's very creamy. Like, I don't know if you can see. Hold on, let me see. If I can. Yeah, look, it's very like creamy. And so let me see if I can squeeze it a little bit and get it to come out a little bit. Yeah, so it's like thick, but creamy. It's kind of like a cream, like a thick cream sort of feeling. And last but not least, again, with the Amsterdam Expert acrylics, this is their professional line. I don't have a whole lot of colors either, so we're going with the yellow. These have a really nice consistency as well. I mean, acrylics are really nice and kind of easy. Like, they're just, I gotta say, I think they're my favorite. I think acrylics are my favorite thing. I had oil paints and I sold them all because I didn't want to deal with it. I only kept my water mixable oils, but again, I only use them sometimes depending on the painting because I don't feel like messing with them. The cleanup with acrylics is just much easier. Okay, so let's now see what we can do about I'm making a mess here. What we can do about getting a second layer going there. Again, yeah, the consistency is the most like the Liquitex soft body, I think. Let's see. The gouache was thicker than that. This is actually softer than the gouache, and I think less opaque. It's softer and less opaque than the gouache. So I'm not sure what to think about that. Okay, Liquitex Basics. Let's try to get another layer going and see if we can get that black covered up. Nope. Does not really want to cover up that black. Interesting. Interesting. Liquitex. Basics is right here. Let's give that another round. Yeah, see, that's not even too bad. That's interesting. The Liquitex Basics is actually very similar to the Liquitex Soft Body. There's not a whole lot of difference, to be honest with you. Except again, I mean, these are the same colors. Vivid lime green and brilliant yellow green. So pretty similar colors, but you get a little bit, you get some more color payout from the Professional Soft Body versus the Basics. But in terms of opacity and coverage, pretty similar. And then let's do the fluid again and see what we get. Once again, put a tiny little dot there. Yeah, I don't know if it's just the color maybe that is, I'm not really getting any kind of coverage on the black. So, and we have that here too. So it might be just the color. It's hard to compare this. This, I will see, maybe this has white in it. So let me see what the pigments are. Oh, and this one says you have to stir it thoroughly. So it is very much like that, like house payment or paint, house paint, house payment, house paint. And this has a yellow pigment, PY184, and a green pigment, PG36. So there's no white in it. So the opacity just comes from, you know, however they make this paint. Let's see if we can get, okay, I think on third layer, we have pretty much full coverage of the black. Just about full coverage. You can almost, you can barely tell there's anything there. Green and let's say orange. I'm gonna open one more, this orange one, so we can kind of see, maybe we can kind of try to see how they blend with each other. And let's close up. And then, okay, and close up. And let's see what we got. Our little palettes that we're working with. Put some color here. And then some color here. No, I'm going to use a bigger brush. And then see what we can come up with. And kind of try to blend them right here. Oh, that orange is just overpowering everything. Huh. Okay. I mean, got some good blending over there on the... That's nice. That definitely blends well. And you know what we're gonna do? I'm gonna leave some like thicker paint here and see if it dries. You know what? While I have this out, I'm gonna paint the lid this green so that I can see from the top what I have going on. And actually a lot of people seem to be using this paint to paint miniatures. Apparently because it's flat and so opaque, it's good for miniatures, miniature painting. So it seems to be pretty popular in that art world. A lot of the reviews I saw were from miniature painters, like painting those miniatures for games and those types of things. Do that, and then let's do the orange one as well. And covers really nicely. This is actually pretty nice. And yeah, like I said, the smell is not really bothering me too much. Let's add another layer here just to see how it does with that. And you know what? Let's try to blend it out with the water here too. And see. Oh, look at that. Oh, I just love acrylics. Like a little bit goes such a long way. And they are so smooth, and there's so many different options for consistencies. Like you could even buy a heavy body acrylic and then buy, let's say, one of these guys, like either a high flow or a fluid acrylic or a high flow acrylic in the exact same color as the heavy body, and then use those to dilute the heavy body instead of using water. That way you're not even using water, but you get like exactly the texture and the consistency of it that you want. Yeah, there are just so many options. And I know a lot of oil painters like oils because they don't dry as fast, so you can kind of mix them a lot, but you guys can see that there's still enough time to like get a good mix on the acrylics. Plus you can work in layers, and the fact that it dries quickly means, you know, if you want layers or you want to go over something or whatever, you don't have to wait for a gazillion years. You can just, it's dry within a few minutes. Like this is all already dry. Like all of it is dry. Even this last layer that we put on there, it's dry. This is a little bit wet, which is interesting. This is still like in the thicker area. Interesting. Yeah, these are all dry, actually. So now we can look at how glossy they are. And let me see if we can see some gloss. You can definitely see a little bit of gloss to this high flow, which is interesting because those are kind of more matte. Heavy body acrylic is supposed to be the most glossy, but I don't see a ton of gloss. Yeah, okay, maybe. I do see some here and some here. I wonder if it's just the color. Interesting. Yeah, I'll show you, like, if you for example, let me see if you guys can hear it. Like I prepped some pages with acrylic. Do you guys hear that? Because it's glossy paint, even though it doesn't look that glossy, because I have some paint on this side over here, even to that little bit, it sticks. So if I had acrylics here and I had acrylics on this side, then it would all just stick together. That one didn't because I don't really have that much on this side or that side. But yeah, but you can hear it. Interesting. So, all that to say that, yeah, these colors are really pretty. So I don't want to, not to waste the paint, I'm gonna stick the leftovers over here. Okay. And wipe the top so it doesn't stick. And set it aside. And you know what, since I have it all open, I might as well, well, yeah, I might as well swatch it out. And actually we're supposed to shake. So shake it. And let's see what we got. That's my new way of swatching. What do you guys think? Let's see how that works. Oh, I got some green in there, but that's okay. That's a really pretty color. Oh my god, cobalt teal. I have it in the fluid one, and it's so pretty. I love that. That's honestly one of the reasons I got this set, is for that color. This cobalt teal is gorgeous. Let's shake, 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 shake. Shake, 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 shake. Got the red violet. Let's get rid of most of it. And then plop some on here. And then plop some on the lid. I'll have to do the cobalt teal later. Plop some on the lid. Okay. Look at how bright and gorgeous these colors are. Wow. Yeah, the good thing about the jars is if you're doing, like, let's say you're using these for your journals because they're flat, so they're not going to stick together on the pages. The good thing about the jars is that you can just kind of leave them sitting open right next to you and just dip in there instead of having to like continue putting more on your palette. You can just kind of work more freely. Okay. It's the red violet. Let's see if I can get some of this teal on the lid. Yeah. Thanks for watching along as I play with my new paints, which I'm not supposed to be playing with because I'm supposed to wait until my birthday. But I just had to like open them up and see what was going on. Let's see if I can get that. Oh, now I got some purple on there. Oh no, oops. Let me see. Let me get a little bit of the paint. Now the water's kind of green, so okay. Might just need to like do it in layers. I want like a nice solid layer. Okay, it's good enough. I mean, it's good enough for me to know what that color is. Then we got the yellow. Oh, I already got blue. And that's the other thing I like about acrylics. Like if you get some on your hands, it's like fine. As opposed to if you get oils on your hands, you don't really want to, you don't want to do that. You don't want to get oils on your hands. It's not the safest thing in the world. I mean, I'm sure acrylics aren't the best either, but it's not, it's fine. Okay, hold on. Got way too much paint from the lid. Let's see how it like blends out. Oh, let's see how they layer on top of dry. See, that's like optical layering. You get like a brighter orange kind of. And like I said, this is already dry. So, and that's not to scare you off from acrylics. That's to say that in that regard, I think it's actually a positive. Like for me, it's a positive. As long as you learn to work quickly and blend quickly, like once you learn how to accommodate for that, then acrylics are absolutely the best. And finally, one more. Got one more. There we go. One more. Nope, don't fall down. Okay. Ooh, this color, this Naphthol crimson. Oh, Naphthol pink. Oh, that's a new color for me. I've never seen a Naphthol pink. Hold on, guys. I'm gonna have to pin this paper back. It curled because I put so much acrylic on it, and now it wants to fall down. There we go. Now it's not falling. Look at this Naphthol crimson, or I keep calling it Naphthol crimson. It's Naphthol pink. I wish I had another big paintbrush here, but I don't. So we're gonna have to go with the paintbrush that I do have. Okay, let's see what we got. Oh, let's see how the Naphthol crimson pink. Oh, that makes a really nice orangey color. That's really pretty. And that's got good coverage. Look at how it goes over that dark color right there. Look, it just covers it right up. That is very, very opaque. These colors are gorgeous. See, you're never disappointed with golden. Again, it was too much paint. Put some back in the jar. That's one other thing, is it's easy to get it back in the jar. You can just put it back in the jar if it's too much. Okay. So I don't know if I would use these for like big canvas paintings, except this like Naphthol pink color. I might add it as like an accent sort of, as like detail somewhere, or like some of these as like accents, just because they are so opaque and so bright. But I don't know if I do a whole painting in them. Just because it is a little bit nice when there's a little bit of a sheen to the acrylics. So let's see how, oh, it does. Let's see over here, it's still a little bit wet. Let's see if we can get a nice orangey kind of color. That's pretty. That's a pretty orange, right guys? Look at that. This naphthalene prink is so pretty. Oh my god. I wonder if they have it in like the other types of paint, or it's just in this SoFlat one. Gorgeous. Okay. So, here are all the colors. Pretty happy with them. I might get the other set that has the primaries and white and black, because I think it would be nice to have some more white to kind of blend these with. I think white would be pretty good to have actually for these. I think it would kind of make them even more opaque. So, and then we can kind of see, like in the areas where it's completely dry, like this orange and this, there's definitely no sheen to it. Even in the areas where I kind of layered it on more thickly, there you guys can see there's like no sheen to it. There's still some sheen here and here, but it's, as you can see, but it's wet. It's still kind of wet there. But the areas that are dry are very flat. And then even here, the areas that are drying up are starting to be flat. So, and once again, here's the comparison sheet with all the colors. Got some nice opaque coverage, but not as much as the acrylic gouache. Got more of that, got more coverage there. That was one layer. This was, what, 2, 3 layers maybe? So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this. This was more just kind of like a little test for myself so I could see if this was something I was interested in getting more of. And I do like them. I think these colors are really nice and it's a nice set. So thank you for watching, and I'll be back with more videos pretty soon. I have a few watercolor palettes to set up again, so I'll probably share all that as well. So thanks guys, bye.